were all busy interrogating the songstress that put some kind of curse on the prince. However, your conversation was cut a little bit short by guards suddenly barging into the dungeon and screaming that you should all surrender and you're under arrest, under suspicion of treason and acting to take the prince's life. And under these false accusations, or maybe they're true, who knows? Haha. No, actually they're not true. Don't worry about it. Things begin to unravel, and as you're standing there in front of the guards wondering what the hell is going on, and probably some of you plotting how to mop the floor with some of these guys, you notice off the corner of your eye that somebody else is quietly making their way down the stairs, trying to be inconspicuous behind the guards as possible. And that person would be Benny.
I knew it. He's the Overlord.
Is you dumb?
The Overlord, yes.
Benny is not the Overlord.
You see that Benny is
You thought it
quietly
was
making
Benny,
his
but
way
it was
down
me.
the stairs behind the guards, trying to not draw their attention.
I'm just watching and just looking around at the
You
others.
see that he's reaching out for his neck, and he is pulling a small cloth over his mouth and his nose, and then he's starting to take out some kind of small potions from his pack.
Okay.
I'm gonna look
So you think
towards.
none of you are gonna, draw attention to him at this point, or?
No, I'm gonna look towards
No.
the other and basically put my hand over my mouth as a
I'm just
signal.
gonna start speaking extremely loudly. And how exactly did we do what you're saying we did?
Get up, you're coming with us. As
Do you-
the guards are busy being a total buzzkill in this moment, Benny finally gets into position and chucks a few potions at their feet. They go off with a bang, and the guards panic for a moment before they're covered in thick smoke. They begin to cry and to cough heavily. The potions clearly affecting their their breathing tracts and causing them to react violently. Many of them start dropping their weapons, and most of them scatter and start running to get some air. In the meantime, Benny screams for the stairs. Hurry, this way! Follow Benny!
I follow after him, of course.
Before following, Alyssia rolls her eye at Benny immediately, like fucking disclosing his identity. And then follows.
Follows, but is also silently saying, "Don't yell out your name."
As you say
It's
that,
okay, they'll think it was Barbarossa.
as you say that, you see that Benny visibly flusters and panics because he didn't realize he just said his name out loud. He immediately panics. I mean, Anderson, damn it!
Like, thought flying through Alyssia said is fucking noob.
I mean, it's me, somebody else, haha! You thought it was me, Benny, but it was somebody else.
But it was
I just
Barbosa.
start leading him up the stairs quickly, without saying anything to his flusteredness.
As you guys quickly make your way up the stairs, you start hearing some blunt noises from upstairs. A few bodies hit the floor. When you make it up there, you see that Iris, your bodyguard, since he didn't come to the dungeon with you, he has been busy upstairs, and he has knocked out a few of the guards that tried to subdue him. Luckily, he doesn't seem to have killed anybody. He just made sure that they're out of the fight for a while. So he quickly turns his gaze towards you guys when he sees you running up the stairs. He doesn't say anything. This doesn't seem like the situation to talk it out, so he just gets ready to follow you guys.
Good, I nod to him. He did well, knocking him out. Firm nod.
At that point, Benny, who has seemed to have recovered from his shock of, well, telling everybody his name out loud, speaks up. Quickly, let's slip into that side corridor. We should be able to give them a slip for a few minutes so we can talk. Aha!
On your way here, you didn't happen to see a giant armored fellow?
Armored fellow? There's many armored fellows.
I mean, one...
He points to all the guards that are knocked down on the ground.
An Ulvaean armored fellow.
Oh. You mean the narc, right?
Yes, the narc.
Benny told him to follow him, but he didn't know Benny, so he ignored me. The nerve of that guy! Can you believe it?
I see.
That's what you'd expect from a narc.
Oh my god, he's calling him a narc too.
Everyone calls him a narc, he's Ulvaean. Where is he?
This is why we don't help you people.
I think I saw him fighting guards up ahead in the hallways. We should pass by him if we continue down this way, assuming they don't capture him.
They
Good.
won't.
Let's go.
Is he good in a fight?
Yes.
All
Well-
of this is fantastically interesting, but how about we get back to the matter at hand? What is it you wish to speak with us about?
Yes, of course. Straight to the point as always, Alyssia. Yes, one of your best qualities. Yes, perfect. Right, so let's not waste any more time and get right down to the point. Yes, perfect. I like it. That's the way it should be. In this tense situation,
Get in the
everybody should
hallway.
Get right to the point. Yes.
I'm like bringing him into a hallway so we're not out in the open whilst we're talking.
Yes, clever maneuver. Stick out of sight. Perfect, yes. Right. Oh, you see that he is reaching into one of his pockets and takes out very deliberately some kind of small... what's the word I'm looking for? Do you know those things that, you know, when there's an indent in a wall and you kind of pass them in there like a key, but it's not a key, it's kind of like a symbol? What would the word for that thing be?
Puzzle piece. Zelda.
Like a puzzle piece, something. Yeah, I guess that works.
We
no
know
idea.
what you're talking about. Just
Yeah,
stick it in
anyway,
the
let's
wall.
just call it a key for, you know, convenience sake. It's basically a crest, a specifically crafted crest in the shape of a... It's used as a key. Right. So he takes it out and quickly gives it over to you guys. Right. Head into the deeper parts of the palace. Even deeper than the dungeons. You'll find a long hallway with not many guards. There's a hidden room stashed there. You can use this key to open it. Inside, you'll find something very useful. You need to get it. Yes.
But wait, what about you? Aren't you coming with us?
Huh? Too dangerous. Hell no. I gotta stay out of sight. I can't let them see me.
But how did you know this was happening? In fact, how did you get hold of this crest?
It's very complicated. If they find me, they'll kill me. I took a great risk giving you this. Maybe we should leave it for another time, yes?
Fine.
Not a good time.
Fine, this is not a good time. Go on, Benny. Thanks for your help.
Right. You're looking for what's that thing? It breaks curses. Do you know how it looks?
Well, the Ovain thing? Damn, we're gonna need Klein for this.
Yes, exactly. That's what you need. You'll find it easily there. You gotta find it.
We'll be
Understood.
able to find it.
You start hearing the clanking of armor as guards are yelling over the corridors. Incidentally, you manage to spot Klein, who's been making his way down the hallway after knocking two guards down, and looks like he's ready to face the next wave of knights that are coming in. He hasn't spotted you, though.
I'm bouncing up and down. Klein! Klein!
Alyssia just cringes at the lack of stealth.
I'll just
I
look
just
over
cover
my
my
shoulder as I slam
hand.
the hammer end into one of the guards' helmets. Go, there you are. Anyone mind telling me what's going on? Jab another one in the chest.
We're being
We are being
framed,
falsely accused of murder.
but we can prove our innocence if we go quickly down.
I doubt it will be that simple, my dear. Not that it matters, because we don't have much choice.
Alyssia,
Also,
quickly roll me perception.
yeah, I was about to say, I want to roll insight on Benny.
Oh, go ahead. You can roll either insight or perception. Alyssia, as your attention was distracted for a second, you look back. There is absolutely no sign of Benny. He vanished
The fuck?
without a trace.
Actually, like what I rolled insight about was whether or not I was lying.
What?
But okay.
Vira, what are you rolling for?
Anyway, anyhow, how did he do that? How did he vanish?
You take a look closer at the spot where he was. You see there's a smudge on the stones on the lower part where the shadow slightly hits them. There's some kind of magical residue. As you take a closer look and inspect it, he used some kind of alchemy-based spell that mimics teleportation, but he used it to travel through shadows.
Oh, alright.
Okay.
Oh, he can shadow walk thing.
Well,
Not
ish.
quite.
Not
Well,
exactly,
kind
but
of.
close enough.
Huh. Interesting. I'll explain that to everybody later. No time now.
Okay, let's hurry up. Come on. And
Am I
Klein,
the only
can
one
you-
who's thinking that his presence here was very suspicious from the get-go?
Well, yes, but right now we don't have time to look into it further. We'll catch up to him later.
Unless we're walking into a trap, but I digress, I suppose.
I'm starting to feel like he's linked to something. He knows too much.
Everything is linked to something.
By the way, we are heading down the corridor, just so everybody knows.
Alright,
That's right.
now here's the problem. Do any of you know how the castle looks on the inside?
Probably not. I mean, wait. I mean, how much of the castle did we see when we were last here?
Not that much. The castle is actually pretty big.
Yeah, so Alyssia would remember everything she's seen, but nothing else.
You will know all the basic corridors up above and the guard route, so you'll be able to mostly avoid the patrols and such that are looking for you right now. But as for the deeper floors beneath the dungeon, you haven't been there.
So I guess the answer is no.
Do you have
any
plan for how
chance-
you want to proceed, or just search randomly?
But didn't
Any
Benny give
chance
us
I can
basic
use
directions?
Intuition.
Can you guys repeat that because you kind of overlapped?
Like one at a time.
Any chance I can use? I grew up in a castle, basically my entire life.
Yeah, well,
That help
architecture
knowing
sometimes
vague
gets
layouts.
fixed. I see your point. Roll me insight, why not? Maybe you'll get an idea. Sadly, no. It seems like the architecture is different. Is a different style. So while some things are similar with the castles you've grown up, there's also a lot of things that are completely different, and you're not sure you want to take a chance right now.
Well, didn't he give us basic directions? We'll just follow those.
No, he didn't tell you anything apart that you need to get into the deeper parts of the castle. Apparently, he wasn't very sure where exactly the destination is himself.
I got a plan.
Actually, like, are there any guards nearby?
They're all around you, but currently they haven't found you yet.
Oh no, I mean guards that are knocked out or something.
Oh yeah, definitely. There are a few. Thanks to
Uh,
Klein.
I suppose we could interrogate one of the guards. But that would make it a little bit of a ruckus.
Good as any.
By the way, I'm like tapping the floor with my foot a moment.
Alyssia turns to Vira. Unless you know how to magically read minds.
I can communicate with somebody telepathically, but I cannot read their mind. However, if I was able to communicate with them telepathically, we might be able to pretend like I do.
Might not necessarily work unless you can, unless you're good at, well, fast talking.
True.
By the way, do I hear any hollowness as I tap my foot against the stone?
No, sadly. Not where you are. You're still kind of in the main hallway, so there's
Wait,
nothing suspicious.
Wait. Are we in the dungeons still? No?
No, you got up from the dungeons.
Yeah, and he's
You're
opened
on
the...
the upper floors right now.
If you remember, he opened
Okay.
a secret hallway, so I'm just suggesting we go down the hallway. At the very least. You know, get out the main hall.
Seems like a smart enough idea.
Let's go.
The chances that the guards will find you here are much slimmer after all. At least for now. If anything.
Yep, let's go down this hallway then.
You
So,
start
are we
going
bringing
through
one of
some
the
of the
guards or
side
no?
hallways
Yeah, we'll take one with us, and when we get somewhere quiet, we'll interrogate him.
That will not be too hard since through the side halls it's mainly where the staff moves, so they stay out of sight when there's, you know, people in the main and guests in the main hallways. So you're basically in the staff hallways right now, and there are a few side rooms that probably during times of unrest some of the maids and other workers will be, well, hiding to make sure they stay out of trouble. You can easily find one of the side rooms and slip into it quietly without anybody noticing.
Good. We're in the side room. Well, hurry up the interrogation.
Are we going to do this simply, or have you got anything fancy planned?
Can I ask, first like, just ask a question? Which
Yes,
actual
okay.
skill governs interrogation in D&D? Because I honestly have no
That's
idea.
the thing, in D&D I don't think there's an intimidation or interrogation type of...
There is intimidation.
There is intimidation, but that is
Not
necessarily the same as
interrogation.
interrogation.
So you're just basically going to need to use intimidation and
I would say it would be
non-lethal
on-
damage.
The context, it would either be persuasion,
Right, okay.
I know, constitution saves, depending on how fucked over.
You
Yeah.
whack the guard around a few times and he starts to come to after waking up. Well, he's still a little bit groggy because of a few nasty bumps that Klein delivered to him. He immediately realizes that he is being captured. His first instinct is to scream for help.
Nope. Alyssa's clamping down her hand on his mouth and placing a dagger against his throat.
As soon as he senses the cold steel next to his neck, you see sweat begin to pour from his face. He stays put for a second. He realizes his condition and he is extremely terrified.
None of that. See, we want answers to some questions. If you're a good boy and answers, you'll live. If you're not, you'll die. How about that?
Since he can't speak, he slowly nods.
Alyssia glances over her shoulder towards anyone who wishes to talk.
We need
I'm
to
happy to let you proceed.
Oh, well, yeah.
Here's just shrugs.
Iris mentions we need to know the location of an area even below the dungeons.
He seems to be struggling to think of what you're talking about. He seems a little bit confused. But with Alyssa's hand on his mouth, he can't even say anything, so he can't really do much.
Alyssia lifts the hand off his mouth, but pushes the dagger slightly harder against his throat.
I don't know what you're talking about. There's nothing lower than the dungeons. There are a few sealed off doors in the dungeons that are for high personnel only, but that's about it.
Then you're going to take us to one of them.
Like hell I am. Let me go.
Look, well, I don't have the time for this. Either you're going to take us with you, or I'm going to cut your hamstrings and leave you here. Half a man.
You know what? I've always wanted to be a guide once in my life.
Yeah, what now? Oh.
Tell us
Thought
at
you'd
least
cooperate.
the location of the
No,
doors.
he literally just said he's going to take us. After I threatened to hamstring him
when
and
you
cut his dick.
said bodily harm that's irreversible, he's like, sure, I want to be a guide. That sounds fun.
Unsure if we want to take him with us, but I guess he's gonna guide us. Just make sure he doesn't scream out to any of his friends.
Oh, if he screams, he dies slowly.
And just so there are no misunderstandings, if you lead us into a trap, I will truly make you half a man, and then I will kill you. Are we clear?
Yes.
Splendid, love.
I can imagine this guy's insight. Hey, these guys meant to be the heroes? Nothing like I was told.
Think of me more as the Punisher in this situation.
You
If
caught
he was
us
a
on a
dark
bad
hero.
day.
The guard very unwillingly starts leading you down some hallways. You obviously have no idea where you're going, since most of the castle you haven't explored past the dungeons. Eventually, however, you feel like you're going downstairs, so something is going right. You get the sense that the guard is clearly on his guard and trying to look at a way to, you know, get out of this predicament he's in right now. But for now, he's being a good boy. After all, his life is on the line here. Eventually, he leads
It's
you
on
back
the
into.
Klein.
Eventually, he leads you into a part of the dungeon that you haven't been to. These dungeons are, shall we say, a lot less maintained, and there are actually no prisoners here. Obviously, there were some guards, but they have been probably repositioned somewhere else, searching the castle for you guys.
You know, that
They
makes...
actually wouldn't expect you, you know, going deeper into the castle. They actually would expect you to flee.
That makes me wonder, like, these dungeons, we have only ever seen a few cells used. Like, there's not that many prisoners. And most of the heads are noble. You would think there'd be more prisoners.
Well, they got jails all around the city, and he usually executes all the
Not
nobles
really.
quick.
The city actually doesn't have, well, there are a few guard posts with jail cells, but you can't really call those jails. Like, they can hold, what, 10, 15 people at most.
Plus, jail isn't really a concept in there.
Ah, fair enough.
Only really exists for the no.
Well, most of the people getting arrested are mages, and they just get executed right away.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
no,
much.
usually if you get arrested, you either pay a fine, do whatever your lord asks you, or get executed.
Yeah, it's, shall we say, it's, justice is blind, but justice was extra blind back then.
But yeah, I guess if we're heading down our way, do we see the door yet, or...?
After he leads you into the older parts of the dungeon, you see that he is no longer certain and just says, I've never been this deep. I hear that there's some pathways up ahead, but I don't know anybody that's ever been in that direction. I don't know anything, just let me go.
I'm gonna roll
Well, now
insight.
you're going to be the first.
That's not bad.
What are you rolling for?
Insight. Just like,
4?
yeah, see if he's telling the truth.
Well, Alyssia can clearly tell that the guy is super uncertain. He's never been down here before. He is telling the truth. He doesn't know where he's going at this point.
Well, now you're going to be the first person you know to be this far down. But we can't allow you to just go running off and tell everyone where we are, so you're going to have to stick with us.
He reluctantly
It's that or
keeps
we
going.
kill you, so... Really.
What
He
a nice
reluctantly
lady
keeps
said.
going down the dark hallways. Eventually there's not even light. There's no torches on the walls. It's pitch dark.
Did you say no light?
Yep.
Let there be
I
light.
think you mean some light. There are now little lights, one
Proud of
positioned
that.
over the top of each of our heads. That,
I mean, who the fuck
now-
needs light? Dark vision.
Well, now you have light, so shut up and be grateful.
As this happens, you see the knight immediately begin to shake in terror. He just mumbles, "Damn mages! No wonder they wanna kill you." He starts praying, and Klein, you actually recognize he's praying to Imudae, which I actually added her stuff if you wanna look it up. And he is praying for protection and safety. He's clearly afraid by the presence of a mage.
You know, just for the sake of argument, what exactly do you think we would have to gain from killing the prince?
I don't know. I'm just doing my job, man. I don't wanna die.
He
You're
doesn't
not
know
going
anything.
to die if you cooperate.
Yeah, sure, if I can trust a mage.
Well,
You all eat little children and use their bones to make some kind of crazy concoctions and and make the goat milk go sour.
I'm just rolling my eyes while he says that.
That is such a lie. Only on Wednesdays.
I actually huff out a laugh
Today's
at
a
that.
Wednesday!
Too bad for you then. There's no babies around after all.
Do I detect anything with my detect magic?
Yes. Up ahead, you see that one of the walls is illusionary.
Alright, there's an illusionary wall up ahead. Come on.
Sounds promising.
I just walk straight up to it and deactivate the illusion by walking straight through it.
As you do that, you hear the familiar sound from the Dark Souls games.
See a guy in the other room throwing stones that keeps. Hello, hello.
Hello. He's doing the well, what is it
The
gesture.
guy once again panics. What the hell? Ah, fucking mages.
Well, evidently you have a mage in your employ that created that wall in the first place.
I don't like this. Just let me go, man. I don't
I
want to
knock
be
him
here.
out.
Look, you have two options. Either you stay with us, or we have to kill you.
Just let me go, please. I won't tell anybody. I
I'm just
don't
gonna
want
knock
to-
Guys,
him out
hang
just to
on.
Stop him speaking.
Klein said he'd knock him out.
Alright, fair enough.
As he's babbling, just clonk him on the back of the head.
He collapses like a sack of potatoes on the ground, and it's not long after you hear his gentle snoring fill the hallways.
Alyssia looks down at him with a contemplative look on her face.
I'm gonna make sure to pat Klein on the shoulder and nod in confirm agreement. Like, good job. Come on, let's move forwards.
What's on the other side of the wall? Like in
The
actuality?
hallway actually continues, but on this side there are lit torches.
Get in there, bro.
Alright,
Alyssia,
fair enough.
could you move
Now
up
let us
first?
continue.
I need you to scout.
Alyssia, to answer your question, yes. Well, suddenly, the rest of you guys notice that Alyssia is staying with the guard that's breathing very calmly as he is out cold. And she is reaching out to, well, make sure he stops breathing.
Alyssia, what are you doing?
It would be better to have no witnesses.
Are you an idiot? The entire cast was after us. Why would we want to kill them?
Which is exactly why I'm going to make sure it doesn't look like he got killed by us.
No, leave him alone. Get moving. I need you up front.
It
You
wouldn't look
realize
good
that he
if
can
we killed
identify
them.
us and tell them where we went.
Oh no, poor us. It's not like the entire cast was after us. Just tie him up and move on with me. Come on.
Alyssia, hopefully we can get this whole mess sorted out before he even wakes up, so killing him won't be necessary. Besides, if we do kill him, it'll look bad. Like we were trying to cover something up and hide something.
Heck,
It's in our best interest to leave him alive.
Fine, I suppose.
You can kill the next one if you want. I add that in a way that Iris can't hear it.
yeah.
Yes,
Give.
telepathically, like,
Yeah.
As you guys continue down the hallway, eventually you pass through another magical barrier. This time it's not an illusionary wall. This time it's a barrier meant to forcefully drive people out. Luckily, you have a strong enough mage with you, so that's not a problem.
Vira, molest this
Vira
wall.
manages to quite easily remove the shackles and get past the illusionary wall.
Touch.
I just flick the wall and say, "Get fucked." And the wall just goes down.
Show us where the wall touched you.
After the second wall, once again the scenery changes. Your entire vision is filled with well-maintained marble and huge pillars as they go down the hallway. And at the end of the hallway, you see a dead end with a single pillar standing in front of you. That, unlike the other pillars, it's made of different marble, black marble. And on it, you see that there is a small indent for something.
Oh.
Okay.
I move forward then.
And you are now in front of the pillar. And the end of the hallway.
What's on it again?
There is a small indent for something to go in.
I use the thing that Benny had on it.
You take out the small key and it fits snugly into the pillow, completing it like a puzzle piece. A moment later, the pillow begins to shift and it moves out of your way, revealing a door leading further into a giant room on the other side.
Hey! What? Twice?
He's got the next.